So under the Labour Act 2003 Act 615, today we would like to look at the protection of employment with regards to the employer. So Act 8 subsection 8 provides the right of the employer, and this includes the employer has the right to employ a worker, discipline, transfer, promote, and terminate the employment of a worker. He also has the right to formulate policies, execute plans and programs to set targets, as well as modify, extend, or cease operation at all. He also has the right to determine the type of product to make or sell and the prices of its goods and services. So if today the employer is selling rice and decides that tomorrow I'm selling concrete, he has every right to change. He has every right to modify. He has every right to transfer you from Tamale to Accra, and from Accra to let's say Eastern. He has every right to formulate policies, disciplinary policies, purchasing policies that the employer feels he wants to formulate. He has every right to formulate those policies as well as execute plans. Now, assigned to these rights are the duties of the employer, and the subsection 9 says, without prejudice to the provision of this act and any other enactment for the time being in force in any other contract of employment or collective agreement, the duties of an employer include the duty to provide appropriate raw materials, machinery, equipment, and tools. So it is the employer's duty to ensure that raw materials needed for work is provided. The right tools are provided by the employer, so it is not the worker's duty to buy those tools. It is the employer's duty to make provision for the tools and the materials needed for work, as well as it is the employer's duty to pay the agreed remuneration at the time and place agreed on the contract of employment or collective agreement, or by customs without any deduction except deduction permitted by law or agreed between the employer and the worker. So the employer has the duty to ensure that at the time and place agreed upon, he has to pay the agreed remuneration in the contract of employment or collective agreement, or by customs, without any prohibited deductions aside the statutory deductions or any other deduction agreed upon between the employer and the worker. But aside that, he has no other right to deduct any prohibited deductions. And then he also has the duty to take practicable steps to ensure that the worker is free from risks of personal injury or damage to his or her health during or in the course of the worker's employment, or while lawfully in the employer's premises. He has the duty to follow. So talking about taking practicable steps, so he has to ensure that there is safety in the work environment. He has to ensure the safety of the workers within the environment. He has to ensure that practicable steps are taken to curb any eventuality and or in the course of work. And he also has the duty to develop the human resource of the organization by way of training and retraining. And as we all know, the work environment keeps changing and new technologies are being implemented. So he has the duty to ensure that employers are brought up to speed to new technologies, and they are retrained, their resources are redeveloped for the resources are to catch up with the speed of any new implementations or executions of plans that the employer may put in place. And then he also has to provide and ensure the operation of an adequate procedure for discipline of the workers. So there should be an adequate procedure within which it can be followed through in terms of discipline.